Hey everyone, how are you today? Welcome to my Smrt Live class every Tuesday and Friday at this time. Lovely to see everybody in the chat. Remember, if you're using your phone if you're using your phone, download the YouTube app and then watch the video with the YouTube app. Also, guys, with YouTube, let's go with YouTube. Try to if you want to know when we're doing live classes, like on your phone. YouTube has a really cool feature here. Just click the bell here. Of course, subscribe to our channel, but if you click the bell. If you click the bell and then you choose this option, it will tell you on your phone when we're starting a live class. So so that's pretty cool. So you choose that and click save. Cool. So yeah, I recommend doing that. I think a lot of people are doing that already. But if you don't know how to use YouTube, that's a pretty cool feature. Let's get started. We have a busy class today, guys. A busy class. A lot of information. I want to first today. Well, actually, before we start, I talked about this. One more thing before we start. Homework. Premium subscribers. I have noticed very little homework coming in. Of course, Pascoa, thank you very much. You always do your homework. I love you. You're the best student because she always does her homework. But I want to see homework from everybody, guys. I think I have 18 premium subscribers now, so I want to see homework from everybody. Mona, thank you for doing your homework. Ekaterina, thank you for doing your homework. Jilnar, thank you. Zara, I heard you were sick. I hope you're better now. I see you're in the chat this morning. That's great. Noriko does her homework all the time. Thank you, Noriko. So other guys, come on, let's do more homework, guys. I wanna help you learn English. I want to be making videos about your homework. So please send me your homework. Email me if you don't understand how to do something. Okay, here's my email address: mark@smartenglish.com. Okay, so premium subscribers, you can email me, or anybody, you can email me if you want. But if you don't understand how to do something, just email me. So today's lesson, like it says in the image, right? We make an image before the video starts. We're going to talk about complex sentences first, and this is a writing lesson, okay, Zara? And then we're going to continue talking about modal verbs. And Rosa, I have decided that we will talk again about have to, have got to, and must later on. Okay, maybe next week. We'll do a review of all the different modal verbs that we're studying in Unit 4. Okay, so today we're not going to study have to or have got to or must because we did that the last two classes. Today we're going to talk about some other phrases. So. Like I said, it's a busy class. So let's get started. I was talking about premium subscribers, and if you guys want to become a premium subscribers to do homework and quizzes and stuff, remember, go to smrt.me/smart/live, and you can sign up there. Also, you can email me to get more information about that. Let's go, guys. Complex sentences. So we have studied two types of sentences in English. we've studied simple sentences, and we've studied compound sentences. Now, if you don't understand simple sentences or compound sentences, guys, just go to the YouTube channel, and you can see in my recent classes here, you can see here are my classes, right? Intermediate English with Mark. We go back, and here we go. Compound sentences, simple sentences. So check those lessons out definitely before, or if you don't understand simple sentences and compound sentences. So today we're gonna look at complex sentences. Do you guys remember how many kinds of sentences? How many kinds of sentences are there in English? How many kinds of sentences are there in English? There aren't many. There aren't many, actually. We have simple sentences. We have compound sentences. Today we're gonna study complex sentences. Can we talk through mail? Well, I don't have a lot of time to have conversations with people through email, but if you have a question about Smrt Live class or becoming a premium subscriber, yeah, go ahead, email me. Of course, premium subscribers, you can email me and ask me about homework or something, no problem. Yeah, you guys are right. We have 4 kinds of sentences, and then we have compound, complex sentences, which are actually pretty easy. It's just, you of course, you have, if you want to understand this, you must understand this first, okay? These ones are definitely the most common. Hey, Sharif, welcome. Thank you. Okay, anyways, let's get started. Let's talk about complex sentences. Lots of mistakes that students make about this. So let's go. What's a complex sentence? Oh, by the way, premium subscribers, I'm jumping ahead to Unit 5 for this lesson. So for the homework, this homework will be in Unit 5 in Smrt, okay? I'll put the link in the blog, don't worry. Here we go. What is a complex sentence? What is it? Okay, well, complex sentences contain one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. Now, right now, many students are like, what? What is that? What's an independent clause? What's a dependent clause? Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We will explain this, okay? Look at the following sentences. These are examples of independent clauses. Now, independent clauses are also called simple sentences. Remember, independent. You guys understand this word, independent. Independent means it doesn't need help. It doesn't need help. It's complete by itself. Okay? Now a clause, this crazy word, clause. What's a clause, guys? What's a clause? Type in the chat. Tell me, what is a clause? What does clause mean? Now, please don't say clause is a sentence. It's not a sentence. It's not a sentence. It's a part of a sentence. It's a part. Okay? Now, sometimes sentences have 2 clauses, 3 clauses, 4 clauses. But what is a clause? What is a clause? What is a clause? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to wait for you guys. Let's look at the examples. I ought to go shopping. We're going to study ought to later in today's lesson, okay? We're going to talk about the meaning of ought to later. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday. Okay, we're going to also study shouldn't have missed later in the lesson. And finally, we had better go soon. We had better go soon. So now in the chat, I'm seeing that a clause, you guys are typing this. Thank you, Zara. Thank you, Abdelaziz. The best answer is from Abdelaziz and Zara. A clause always has a subject and a verb. Now, in my sentences here, I used modal verbs and main verbs. So when I say a verb, well, sometimes it has helping verbs, right? But a sentence in English, guys, a sentence always needs a subject and a verb. Always. This is a rule in English. I know Japanese or Korean people, in Japanese or Korean, when they're hungry, they say hungry. Like my wife is Japanese and she says, tired. And this is not good English. It's not good English, because in English, we always need a subject and a verb. We always need a clause. So in English, we say, I'm hungry. I'm tired. In Japanese, I love you, they just say, love. Love. And that, of course, in English, we must say, I love you, subject, verb. And sometimes we have objects, you. So a clause, here we go. A clause is a subject and a verb. A simple sentence just is an independent clause. An independent clause means it doesn't need help. It doesn't need more information. These sentences are complete. I ought to go shopping. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday. We had better go soon. These are independent clauses. Now, like I said, these sentences are complete. They have a complete idea. Now, let's look at dependent clauses. What's a dependent clause? We talked about independent. Independent means they don't need help. They're complete. They're good. But dependent clauses, here are some examples of dependent clauses. Because I need some new clothes for work. Even though you weren't feeling well. If we want to catch the bus. These are dependent clauses. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, before I tell you the meaning, you guys can see that dependent clauses always start with special words like because, or even though, or if. Here are some more, right? When, as soon as, after, as, though, since. So dependent clauses always start with these words. They always start with these words. That is how you know if a clause is dependent or independent. Dependent clauses always start with these words, although. Okay, here we go. What is a dependent clause? A dependent clause is a group of words. Now it has a subject, it has a verb, but it doesn't make complete sense by itself. It doesn't make sense by itself. It's incomplete, right? Look, go back here. These sentences don't make sense by themselves. If I say, hey guys, if we want to catch the bus, am I finished? Or, hey guys, because I need some new clothes for work. Am I finished? Is my sentence finished? No. I only gave you half of my sentence. You're late, Saul. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We start on the hour. It's okay. Okay. Though is like even though or although, Swati. So let's continue. Dependent clauses are not complete. They're not complete. So what do? We put dependent clauses together with an independent clause. No, French Leo, a verb alone is not an independent clause. You need a subject. You need a subject and a verb. Okay? All right. Well, that's because the imperative form has a subject. It has you. Okay? That's a good point, French Leo, but the imperative actually has a subject. Okay, when I say shut up, the subject is you. Or if I say be quiet, the subject is you. But you're right, we actually don't say you. You're right. Okay, let's continue. All right. So like I said, these sentences don't make sense. They're not complete. We must add an independent clause. So what do we do? Look. We're going to show you the better sentences. Now, the independent clauses are blue and the dependent clauses are green. Look. Oh, this is a complex sentence. Okay, guys? This is a complex. These are complex sentences. Look, blue, this is really important, guys. Don't stop listening now. This is really important. Look, blue is independent. You must think about this. Can you stop your sentence here? Yes, you can. I ought to go shopping. I ought to go shopping. What does ought to mean? It means should. I ought to go shopping. This is independent. This is a complete idea. We don't need help, but we can add a dependent clause because I need some new clothes for work. Okay? This is called a complex sentence. A complex sentence means an independent clause with one or more dependent clauses. Usually it's just one. Just one. Okay, look at the next example. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday. Ought to means should. It means should. We're going to talk about it later if we have time. Okay, it doesn't mean have to. A little bit different. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday. Is that okay? Finished? Is that okay? Yeah, that's an independent clause. It's complete. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday. But this part is not complete. Even though you weren't feeling well, I can't say that alone. I can't say that by myself. Hey, Nitesh, even though you weren't feeling well. Does that make sense? He will think, what? Even though you weren't feeling well, what? So I must add the independent clause. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday, even though you weren't feeling well. We had better go soon if we want to catch the bus. Okay, guys, look at the slide and tell me the order of the sentence. What's first, the independent clause and second dependent clause, or is it dependent clause, independent clause? Okay, tell me in the chat, is it independent plus dependent or dependent plus independent? I'm going to wait for your answers. This is really important. What's first? Is the independent clause first or is the dependent clause first in each sentence? Please look carefully. They're all the same. Okay, they're all the same. Which one's first, independent or dependent? Right? Look at the colors. What the blue, is that independent or is that dependent? You guys let me know. Okay, I'm starting to see your answers now. Looks good. Okay. So in the chat, everybody is saying that the first part is independent. Okay? Just look at Erica, just look at the examples, okay? I'm not talking about in English, I'm talking about these examples. In these examples, the blue means independent. Okay? So here the independent clause is first. See? Independent clause first. Independent clause first. And look at the next part. The next part is all dependent clauses. Now remember, dependent clauses start with these words. They start with these words. So, next question. Do you see any commas? Do you see any commas? Do you see any commas? Now, when I ask a question, I have to wait about 5 or 6 seconds so I can start seeing your answers, right? Do you guys see any commas? Yes or no? Pretty easy question, right? Do you see any commas? No. Here you go. Here are your answers, right? There are no commas. Why are there no commas? What's the rule? What's the rule? Well, the rule is if you start a complex sentence, listen. If you start a complex sentence with the independent clause, Raphael, don't worry, we're going to talk about that. If we start a complex sentence with an independent clause, we do not need commas here. Okay, look, no comma. Here, no comma. Here, no comma. Okay, don't worry, we're going to talk about had better pretty soon. Okay, yeah, I chose these examples because I want you to think about the meaning, because we're going to talk about the meaning of this later, okay? Smart teacher. Okay, so that's the rule. If you start a complex sentence with an independent clause, no comma! No comma after the independent clause. Now, you guys know, I can see Rosa's already teaching people in the chat. You can change the order. It's okay. You don't have to. Remember, that's not necessary. You don't need to. You don't have to say the independent clause first. You don't have to say this part first. You can say this part first. That's okay. That's okay. But if you start a sentence with an independent clause, a complex sentence, you don't use a comma here. No. But what happens if you start a sentence with the dependent clause? What happens if you start a sentence with the dependent clause? Well, let's skip this part. We use commas. Okay? You don't have to read all this, guys, but just look. Same sentences. You see, I changed the order. So you see here, I started the sentence with the dependent clause, right? If you start a sentence with the dependent clause, you need a comma, everybody. You need a comma. Understand? So yeah, you can change the order, no problem. No problem. But if you start a complex sentence with a dependent clause, you must put a comma after the dependent clause. Okay? If we want to catch the bus, ching, 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 we had better go soon. And that's it. Those are complex sentences. Any questions about complex sentences? Any questions about independent clauses or dependent clauses? Guys, remember, clauses. Okay, this is always a problem for students. Look, each clause has a subject and a verb. Look, subject and a verb. Subject, verb. Subject, verb, right? You need subjects, you need verbs in each clause. So a complex sentence usually has two clauses, okay? Dependent clause, independent clause. No, okay, stop asking me about this. I'm going to talk about this very soon. Okay? It's clear, Chari? Yeah, that's pretty easy, right? It's pretty easy. Okay, so what's next? Well, everybody wants to understand these sentences, right? What does ought to mean? What does ought to? What did I say? What does ought to mean? What does ought to mean? What does had better mean? What do you guys think? If you have studied this before, what does it mean, had better? It's difficult when you write it? Well, let's just do a couple examples then. Okay. While I was waiting for the bus, I checked my email. Okay, well, it's pretty easy, Rosa. It's pretty easy. Okay. Which one? We have two clauses, right? We have subject and verb. Subject and verb. So I want to put these together. Which one is dependent? Which one is dependent? Is number one dependent or is number two dependent? Which one is dependent? Let's just do one more example, then we'll talk about the grammar, okay? Because Rosa is important. Rosa is very, very helpful student, so we need to help her. Which one is dependent, guys? Remember, dependent clauses start with those special words, right? Let's see if I can find that slide again. Right? Remember, dependent clauses where... Oh no, this is my grammar. I closed it already, sorry. But which one's dependent? Which one is dependent? Remember, dependent clauses start with those words, right? Because, as, since, as soon as, after, before, until, when, while, many, 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 right? Okay, so this one is dependent. This one is dependent. Okay, so remember the rule. If you start a sentence with a dependent clause, you need a comma. I checked my email. But if you start a sentence with the independent clause, you don't need a comma. Come on, Rosa, that's easy. That's easy. But that's a really big problem. That's a really big problem for students. Okay? So guys, remember subjects and verbs. Okay? And remember the comma rules. Okay? Let's go. Let's talk about the grammar. I asked you, what does ought to mean? Ought to means should. It's totally the same. It's totally the same. But I think many students don't understand should. They don't understand should. Students say, oh, should means have to, must. No way! They're completely different. Let's talk about advice and suggestions today, in today's grammar lesson, okay? Giving advice or suggesting something, okay? Here's an example. I can't remember who was asking about had better. So many people in the chat today, guys. Thank you for joining the class. Somebody's asking about had better, but I can't. Raina Jackson. Here we go, Raina. We're going to talk about this. I'd better. This means had better. I'd better go home soon. I have a lot of homework to do. Now, had better is super common English. Okay, it's super common English, but many students don't know this grammar. Okay, so Tuesday we talked about must and have to and need to, right? Very strong meaning, right? It's necessary, right? I have no choice, right? But should is not very strong. Okay? Had better is a strong way to say should. It's a strong way to say should. And we're going to talk about that more in a second, okay? Or in a couple of minutes. Let's go. Now you guys understand advice. This is a noun. Remember the verb is with an S. Okay? Advise. Let's talk about giving advice or asking advice. Of course, you guys know we usually use should to talk about advice, right? Now, what do you mean? What do you mean advice, Mark? Well, when I say that, I want to say that something is the right thing to do, or it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Okay? You say should. Guys, click the like button if you can. If you like the video, if you dislike the video, then I guess click dislike, but I'm sorry if you dislike the video. Anyways, should is very soft. It's very soft. Okay? It's very soft, and we use it to give advice or to give our opinion. Let's look at some examples. I'm hungry. I should eat something. I should eat something. So stronger is I'm hungry. I must eat something. I have to eat something. But should is not very strong. It's not very strong. You shouldn't go without a coat. It's pretty cold. Okay? Should we invite Jack to the party? Right? Okay, should. You guys know should. You know should. It's not as strong as must, have to, or have got to. We studied this on Tuesday, right? Very strong, you have to, you must, you've got to, right? But should is not, it's not very strong. It's not very strong, okay? So examples, you should help. It's a good idea. It is the right thing to do. But you must help, you have to help, you've got to help. It's super important. It's super necessary that you help. Help! Right? But should is not very strong, okay? Now let's talk about ought to. Now ought to is really strange. Ought to is a modal verb. It's a modal verb, okay? A modal verb, I mean, don't change ought to oughts, or don't use did you ought to. No. It's special. It's special. It's not as popular, so of course should is more popular than ought to. But listen, it's totally the same meaning. It's totally the same meaning. It's you guys use it. It's easy, okay? You should help. You ought to help. You ought to help. You should study. James should study harder. James ought to study harder. He ought to study harder. You should look for a new hobby. You ought to look for a new hobby. So we use ought to when we're giving our advice, when we're trying to help people. Okay, easy. It's the same meaning. Okay? Now, negative, it's not super common. Okay, it's not more polite. No. It's not stronger. It's not stronger. No. It's totally the same as should. It's totally the same as should. It's exactly the same. I should eat. I'm hungry. I ought to eat. I'm hungry. It's totally the same. Okay? I don't know who Sam's talking about, but okay. What's the difference? Ought to and should. Well, negative sentences, questions, ought to is not very popular. Okay? So negative sentences shouldn't. Questions. Should you? Should he? Should I? It's not very common to use ought to with negatives or questions. Okay? Now listen to the pronunciation. Okay? Yeah, well, I don't know, Rosa. Should, have to. Have to is not a modal verb, remember. I don't know. I don't like those. I don't like it when students ask me which one is more popular. Why? You must know all of these, right? I told you that, should is more popular than ought to, but sometimes students ask me that because they don't want to study it, right? No, you have to study it. You have to. It's strong. You ought to? No, you have to. It's strong. Okay? I don't know how to answer your question, Rosa. I'm sorry. But listen to my pronunciation. Sometimes we say just oughta. I oughta go. You guys know got to, we talked about on Tuesday. Got to, I have got to, we say gotta. Well, ought to, many people in North America, Canada, USA, they say oughta, 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 oughta. Yeah, okay. I had a big lunch. I ought to have just a salad. I ought to have just a salad. I ought to have. Listen to my pronunciation. I ought to have just a salad. I should have just a salad. If you want to get a good seat, we ought to get there early. We oughta. Listen to my beautiful pronunciation. We oughta. Oughta. Vivek, don't ask me about had better. We're not talking about that yet. Okay? All right, let's go. Had better. Here we go. You guys really want to know about this one, right? Had better. Okay. Had better is a stronger meaning than should or oughta. It's a stronger meaning. Now, many English speakers just say d better, like I'd better, you'd better. And you know what? Many people in English don't say d. They just say I better go. You better go. Okay? You better not go. Okay? But good grammar is I'd better. I had better. Okay? Now, how do we use this? What does it mean? Stronger meaning than should. Well, let's look at some examples. You'd better take an umbrella today. It looks like it's going to rain. Okay? So when we're speaking, maybe we don't say the d. So you better take an umbrella today. You better take an umbrella. Good English, don't forget the D. Don't forget had, okay? You had better take an umbrella today. It looks like it's going to rain. No, it doesn't mean must. It doesn't mean must. Must is very strong. Okay? Guys, when we're going to talk about this next week, I think. We're going to review all these modal verbs. But when we say must, or when we say have to, or when we say have got to, when I say it's very strong, I mean you don't have a choice, right? You don't have a choice. It's super important. Okay, there's no choice, right? So remember, no cameras. Remember this sign? Oh, that's a, yeah, let's use this one. So, so if you are somewhere and you see this sign, do you have a choice to use your phone? Do you have a choice? Is it okay if you use your phone? No, you don't have a choice, right? You don't have a choice. You have to turn off your phone. You must turn off your phone. You've got to turn off your phone, okay? You've got to turn off your phone. There's no choice. You should turn off your phone? No, should is not very strong. It means, it's your choice. It's your choice, but turn off your phone is a good idea, right? So for this situation, you have no choice. You have to turn off your phone. You must turn off your phone. You need to turn off your phone. You've got to turn off your phone, okay? Now, so we have no choice, right? Must and have to and have got to and need to. And then we have should. And in between, we have had better. Had better. What does had better mean? It usually means this. Had better. It usually means, let me make this bigger. Can you guys see this okay? It looks really small for me for some reason. Let's make it bigger. Okay, if had better means if you do not do this, something bad will happen. Okay? It's like there's a danger. It's like usually we use it for this meaning. Okay? So of course you could say had better, but your meaning is if you had better turn off your cell phone. If you don't turn off your cell phone, you had better, let me make this up here. You had better turn off your cell phone This meaning is like if you don't turn it off, someone might get angry. Someone might get angry. Maybe that's my meaning. Maybe that's my meaning. Okay? Or if you're in a hospital, right? If or in an airplane, if you don't turn it off, the airplane might crash or something. You understand? So usually we use had better to talk about a danger. So if you don't do it, something bad will happen. It's similar to have to, but it's like, if you don't do this, something bad might happen. Okay. No two words have the same meaning. Okay, sure. Right. That's your opinion. That's fine. But I disagree. Totally disagree. Okay. All right. Now, had better. Let's resume. Let's talk about had better. Is used only when talking about specific situations. It means there will be a danger, or there will be a problem if you don't follow my advice. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, specific situations. Let's look at the example. It's cold outside. You should wear a coat. Now, this just means it's a good idea to wear a coat. It's a good idea to wear a coat. But also you could say, it's cold outside. You'd better wear a coat. And this has a stronger meaning. This means if you don't wear a coat, you might be really cold. Something bad might happen, right? And we're just talking about this situation. We're just talking about this situation, okay? Right now, you go outside, okay? You'd better wear a coat. You'd better wear a coat. It means if you don't wear a coat, something bad will happen to you. Something bad might happen. Let's go. Another example. I should hurry. I should hurry. It just means it's a good idea for me to hurry, right? I'd better hurry is stronger. It means if I don't hurry, maybe I will miss the bus, or maybe I will be late. Something bad might happen. I'd better hurry. So we only use had better to talk about like this situation, this thing that is happening now. Okay? We don't use it to talk about just general things. Like in life, you had better work hard. No, you should work hard. That's not a specific, that's always you should work hard, or you have to work hard. You have no choice, right? But today, you'd better work hard. Because if you don't work hard, something bad will happen. Okay, the boss will be angry. So specific situations. Don't worry about that so much. But had better, guys, had better is usually used when we want to say, if you don't do it, something bad will happen. A danger will exist. Okay? Like I talked about, many times we don't say had, we just say better. Okay? And we don't usually ask questions with had better. Okay? It's strange to ask questions with better. So, like I said, guys, remember when people are speaking English fast, many times we don't say had. We just say better. He better call me soon. If he doesn't call me soon, I'm going to be super angry. Yeah, consequence. I love that word, French Leo. Thank you very much. A consequence. Look at the French Leo's comment. A consequence means a bad result. Something bad will happen. And guys, I haven't really given you many examples, but we can use had better with not. Remember, you can add not to had better, okay? Had better not do that. I know it looks really strange to you. I know you guys think better means, better. This is a different meaning, okay? We use this like a modal verb. Trust me. Trust me. You know, I to show you, do you guys know, I mean, I know you guys are, most of you guys live in countries where Christmas, Santa Claus, have you guys ever heard this stupid song? Well, it's not stupid, but I think it's that song. Let's just listen to it a little bit. It's a Christmas song, so maybe you've never heard of it, but listen.
You better watch out. You better.
Stupid example, right? You better watch out. You better be careful. You better not cry. So when I was a child, my parents, my mother and father always told me, "Oh, you better be good. You better be good, because if you're not good, Santa Claus will not come on Christmas. He will not give you presents." Right? So this song is about, yeah, Santa Claus is coming. He's coming, right? So this song is about, you have to be good. You have to be good. Pout. The next word is pout. Pout is not a common word in English, but pout. No. Pouting. Let's see. Pouting. Let's see if there are any images. This here's pouting, right? So if you're angry and you're like, I'm pouting. Some children often do that. So let's start again here.
You better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Okay, enough of that Christmas song. I just wanted to give you, it's the only example I can think of. Had better is super common. In that song, they use it because it means if you do this or if you don't do this, Santa Claus will not come to our house. So you have to be good. No choice. You have to be good. Well, maybe you had better be good. You know, there is a danger. Santa Claus will not come. All right, what time is it? Oh, good. We got lots of time. Let's talk about the next thing. Now, remember in the writing lesson, we talked about this. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday, even though you weren't feeling well. I know I'm in the way here. Sorry. You shouldn't have missed class, and it's very, very strange. Nobody asked me about this. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday, and nobody asked me about this grammar. I was really surprised. You guys all asked me about had better and ought to. You shouldn't have missed class yesterday. Now look, here's the grammar. Should plus have, not has, because remember, with a modal verb, we always need infinitive verbs. Infinitive, base form verbs. So should has, no. Should had, no. Should have. And then we use a past participle. Okay? Should have, look, missed. You shouldn't have missed. Yeah. Here we go, Katerina. This is really important. Should have eaten. Should have gone. Should have seen. Should have should have been. What does this mean? Why do we use this? 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 Super easy. Okay, super easy. Okay, I should have done that. What does that mean? It means I didn't do it. It's called the perfect infinitive. Very good, Sebas, this grammar. Yeah. It's not passive voice. No. Okay. I didn't do it, and I think this is a mistake. Okay? This is how we use should to talk about the past. Okay? I should have done that. That means I didn't do it. And I'm so stupid. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? Or, I shouldn't have done that. I did it. I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? Oh. So I'm thinking about the past. Look at Rose's awesome comment to show regret. Regret. When you feel bad about the past, this is called regret. It's called regret. You feel bad about something that you did in the past or something you didn't do in the past. Okay? So example, guys, I didn't drink coffee this morning. I didn't drink coffee this morning. I didn't drink coffee this morning. Now, I regret this, right? What am I thinking? I'm thinking, why didn't I drink coffee this morning? Why didn't I drink? I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. So, I should have... What's the past participle of drink? What's the past participle of drink? You guys tell me, because the students always make mistakes about this, right? Eat, ate, eaten, and then drink, drank. And what's the past participle? What's the past participle? Drink, drank, drink, drank, drink, drank. Yes, Ali, good sentence, good sentence. What's the past participle of drink, guys? Alejandra, good job. Drunk. Drunk. Drink, drank, drunk. I should have drunk coffee. Yeah, I should have drunk. That means I didn't drink coffee. Yeah, good. Good. I'm so hungry. I really should have eaten breakfast. Did I eat breakfast? No, I didn't. I didn't eat breakfast. I'm so stupid. Now I'm so hungry. I should have eaten breakfast. You shouldn't have said that. Now she's crying. Why did you say that? You're so stupid. You shouldn't have said that. Now she's crying. You understand, Ekaterina? This computer is garbage. I shouldn't have bought it. I hate this computer. Why did I buy this stupid computer? I shouldn't have bought it. I shouldn't have bought it. Okay? Now, should have, listen, we talked about ought to, we say oughta. Should have, many people just say shoulda or should've. Shoulda or should've. Okay? Shoulda, should've. Shoulda, should've. Okay, let's go back. Look, listen. I'm so hungry, I really shoulda eaten. I really shoulda eaten breakfast. I really shoulda. Or, I really should've. I really should have eaten breakfast this morning. Okay, now what about shouldn't? Well, shouldna. Seriously. Shouldna. Or shouldn't have. Yeah, it sounds like of, O-F, of. Shouldn't have. So shouldna. So let's go back. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that. Now she's crying. You're so stupid. God. I hate this computer. It's such garbage. I shouldn't have bought it. Contractions are not common in writing, Ali, like academic writing. You should never use contractions in writing. Okay, it's just not contractions are really just for speaking or, informal English. Which one's more polite? What do you mean, which one's more polite? Which one? I don't understand. Which one's more polite? I don't know. Just speaking. It's just we make it shorter when we're speaking. It's not about politeness. Okay. Shoulda, shouldna, should've, shouldn't have. They're both really, really, really common. Okay. I should have studied last night. I should have studied. I should have studied. I'm cold. I should have brought a sweater. Listen. I should have brought a sweater. I should have brought a sweater. I shouldn't have eaten so much food. I shouldn't have eaten so much food. You shouldn't have missed class. You shouldn't have missed class. You guys try that. Try speaking like this. I shouldn't have eaten so much food for lunch. I'm so full. Oh, why did I eat so much? I shouldn't have eaten so much. You shouldn't have. Okay? It's also possible, remember we talked about should and ought to are the same. You can say ought not to. It's not really common, but you can say ought to have plus a past participle. But it's more common to use should. It's more common to use should. So let's look at, you could say I ought to, here, I ought to have studied last night. I ought to have studied last night, but it's not really common. Okay? It's not really common. Okay? Yeah, whatever. If you're speaking at a conference, it's okay. It's okay. You can use contractions. It's okay. It's okay. So ought to have, it's possible, but it's not really common. Okay? All right, we're almost finished class. Let's just quickly talk about suggestions. Suggestions. Trying to give people ideas. Now, of course, you guys know we can say let's, right? Let's go. Right? Let's go. But often we say this, why don't? Let's okay, or let's not, right? I talked about let's go shopping, let's not. You guys understand let's, all right? But what about why don't? Why don't I? Why don't you? Why don't we? Very, very popular. Why doesn't he? But why don't is a suggestion, guys. It's a suggestion. What should we do tonight? What should we do tonight? Let's go to a movie. Why don't we go to a movie? Same thing, right? I don't want to make dinner. I'm so tired. And my wife says, why don't we go to a restaurant? Why don't we eat out tonight? Right? I don't understand. Why don't you ask the teacher? Why don't you ask the teacher? Okay. Shall. Shall is not really common. Shall is not, shall comes from Old English, and it's not really, really popular anymore. But we do use shall when we're talking about suggestions. And it's usually just used in questions. Okay, look. Shall I or shall we? Shall you? Shall he? Shall she? No. It's usually just for questions. It's really, really popular for questions, for suggestions. Look, shall I help you with your bags? Shall I help you with your bags? Shall we have spaghetti for dinner? Why don't we have spaghetti for dinner? Let's have spaghetti for dinner. Shall we have spaghetti for dinner? Shall we leave soon? What shall we do this weekend? Not why we don't go shopping. Why don't we go shopping, Rosa? Okay? Why don't we? Guys, practice. Practice what I'm teaching you. Practice like Rosa in the comments. Like Vivek, right? Yeah, okay, Vivek. I ought to watch this class again. Sure. Shall we dance together? Good job, Aaron. Yeah. Shall I close the door? Yeah. Black Friday's American, right? Yeah, but we have it in Canada too, actually. Okay. Finally, I think could and should for suggestions. We can use could to make suggestions, right? We can use could to talk about suggestions or possibilities, right? What shall we do tomorrow? Look, here are some different ways. What shall we do tomorrow? What should we do tomorrow? And the people say, why don't we go to the beach? Or let's go to the beach. Shall we go to the beach? We could go to the beach. It's possible. It's a suggestion, right? We could go to the beach. Sol, you don't understand what at all? You don't understand which one at all? Be more specific. If you want me to help you, I need to understand which one you don't understand. Okay, we could go to the beach. Very, very, very popular to give suggestions. Yeah. Okay. What shall we do? What should we do? Same thing. For James's birthday, why don't we have a surprise party? Let's have a surprise party. Shall we have a surprise party? We could have a surprise party. These are all the same meaning. Okay? Should can be used for suggestions, but it has a stronger meaning. Look, what should we do tomorrow? What shall we do tomorrow? We could go to the beach. This is a suggestion. It's my suggestion, right? We could go to the beach. We should go to the beach. It's a little bit stronger. We should go to the beach. Yeah, it's a good idea. We should go to this. We should go to the beach. Okay. What should we do for James's birthday? We could have a surprise party. Why don't we have a surprise party? We should have a surprise party. It's a little stronger, right? We should, yeah, we should have a surprise party. It's pretty strong. Okay. Wow, a lot of information today, guys. A lot of information today. So, premium subscribers, homework, here we go. Grammar 4.2. Please do the exercise. Okay, please do everything in the exercise and share it with me. Also, open Unit 5. Okay, Unit 5, Writing 5.1, Complex Sentences. I want you guys to do the exercise for this too. I want you guys to practice for homework what we study in the YouTube class. All right? So grammar 4.2 exercise, writing 5.1 exercise. I want to see everybody's homework. Now, remember, homework is only available to premium subscribers. Okay? This is how we can afford to keep doing this. Okay? So you know, please support us. This is the only way we can keep doing free classes on YouTube if we have premium subscribers. Premium subscribers, like I'm showing you, they do homework, quizzes, exams. We're going to do a quiz soon, and we're also going to do an exam, premium subscribers, and video homework and video chats. Okay, sign up to be a premium subscriber at www.smrt.me/smart/live, and you can try it for free for 1 month. And then after 1 month, you have to pay if you want to continue using the service. Okay, so check out the website if you're interested in becoming a premium subscriber. Check out the Facebook group. Check out my school, the Canadian College of English Language. All the links are under the video on YouTube, guys. Shall I come to Canada? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Come check out our school, or check out the Facebook group if you can't do that. Guys, other than that, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next class on Tuesday. Thanks for coming, everyone, and see you next week. Bye now.